All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back again to the passage number three. As we have made a statement before that, we are going to continue every single wonderful day. So, yeah, as we had previously, not had enough time to, of course, spare for our current project. But, anyways, here we come. So, passage number three, what is exploration? Whenever you read something, whenever you're reading a passage, in our case, it's IELTS examination, and of course, in our case, it's Cambridge English. What we have to do is we have to pay attention to the text, whether or not it is argumentative. In this case, we can see the text is argumentative, of course. We see the text. However, we have questions. Multiple choice questions, they come in order, and we have classifications with the naming. So the naming comes in order as well. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to find the names first. I'm just going to zoom out a tiny bit like that. And if you have troubles zooming in, please do mention that in the comment. So we have Peter Fleming. There we go. We have Ran Fiennes. We have to find Ran Fiennes or Fiennes. I don't know how to pronounce that name. Of course, we have that. Chris Bonington. We have Robin Hanbury Tennyson. We have that. And we need Wilfred Thesiger. There we go. And just because we have the writer's own bias, we can navigate through the text. It comes as the last question. That means you will have it pretty much over here. And there we go. We found it. The writer has the experience of a large number of, and was the first stranger that certainly previously something type of people had encountered. He believes there's no need for further exploration of Earth's something, except to answer specific questions such as how buffalo eat. I'm interested in the explorations of ideas. I've done a great many expeditions, and each one was unique. So there he has. If you take that and write a large number of is equals to great many expeditions. Great many expeditions. So the answer is going to be a large number of expeditions. That is pretty simple to navigate. So you don't have to really worry about that. So it's going to be uh so what do we have? I've done a great many expeditions, and each one was unique. So a large number of expeditions. So it's like expeditions. Sometimes I have some kind of technical difficulties where my keyboard doesn't work at all. And was the first stranger? That's certainly something else. All right, we have first answer over here. I've lived for months alone with isolated group of people around the world with two uncontacted tribes. So uncontacted people. Tribes are people. Tribes is a group of people. So the answer is going to be uncontacted or isolated. So isolated group of people around the world or even two uncontacted tribes. So the answer is it is pretty and finally, I've lived for months alone with isolated groups of people all around the world, even two uncontacted tribes. Here's the word uncontacted gives us the hint that the writer was referring to the first person ever. So basically, you have to find the adjective of the people. What kind of people? Is it isolated people or is it uncontacted tribes? So since the answer for tribes, we cannot write the word tribes because tribes is a replacement for the word people, we have the word uncontacted. And he believes there's no need for further exploration of Earth something else. But one of these things is of the slightest interest to anyone, unless through my books I found a new slant, explored a new idea. Why? Because the world has moved on. The time has long passed for the great continental voyages. Another walk to the poles, another crossing of the empty quarter. We know how the land surface our planet lies. So the planet is an Earth. So I'm gonna say tribe. Tribe is people. So Earth, Earth's something. Earth something is a planet. So further exploration of Earth's what? Earth's land surface. Or we can just say surface just by itself. There we go. We pretty much finished the first one. So we're going to take that. So this is going to be number 40. This is going to be number 39. And this one is going to be number 38. Now, the first question is what the writer refers to visitors to New York to illustrate the point that to illustrate the point that is that to give an idea about what we are all explorers. Our desire to discover and then share the newfound knowledge is part of what makes us human. Indeed, this has played an important part in our success as a species. Long before the first caveman slumped down beside the fire and grunted news that there were plenty of wildebeest over yonder. Our ancestors had learned the value of spending out scouts to investigate the unknown. These questing nature of ours undoubtedly helped our species spread around the globe, just as it nowadays no doubt helps the last nomadic pennant maintain their existence in the depleted forests of Borneo, and the visitor negotiated the subways of New York. So basically, the first text is our desire to discover and then share the newfound knowledge is a part of what makes us human. That is the main idea of the first paragraph, right? So the writer provides a reference to visitors of New York to illustrate the point that to illustrate the last line in the paragraph. Visitor negotiate the subways of New York. So a visitor negotiate the subways of New York. So if you can look at if you pay attention to the answer A, because it's going to be answer A, intrinsic element. In the word intrinsic element is talking about intrinsic element. Intrinsic element means part of what makes us human. We have the word intrinsic and extrinsic. Intrinsic relates to one group of people, and extrinsic does not relate to a group of people or a part of something. According to the second paragraph, what is the writer's view of explorers? Over the years, we've come to think of explorers as a peculiar breed. Peculiar breed, the word peculiar means strange. They are strange people, he's saying. Different from the rest of us, different from those of us who are merely well-traveled even, and perhaps there's a type of person more suited to seeking out the new, a type of caveman more inclined to risk venturing out. So he's trying to say that explorers are different from those people who are just travelers. They seek out more risks. That, however, doesn't take away from the fact that we all have this inquiry instinct even today, and that in all sorts of professions, whether artists, marine biologists, or astronomer, borders of the unknown are being tested each day. So there, it's the writer's view of explorers. He's trying to say that they are a different breed. So a different breed, most probably, refers to what their discoveries have brought both benefits and disadvantages. It doesn't talk about that, so we're gonna remove it. So of course, let me remove this part as well. So they're not talking about this part. Their main value is in teaching others. There's no text saying anything about teaching others. They act on an urge that is common to everyone. So we all have this inquiring instinct, means the urge. The urge. So an urge that is common to everyone is in other words, we all have an inquiring instinct. We all have an inquiring instinct. There we go. So the paragraph D, the option D is also false. The writer refers to description of Agnan Heath to suggest what? So another one. So here we found the answer. So where is it? Our desires and so on. Our desires and so on is the part of the answer which comes to page number 27. Here it comes. Where is it? Different from and blah blah blah. However, it doesn't take away from the fact we all have this inquiring instinct. So let me actually take this part instead. So it's gonna be Number question 29, 28. Thomas Hardy set some of his novels in Egdon Heath, a fictional area of uncultivated land, and used the landscape to suggest the desires and fears of his characters. He is delving into matters we all recognize because they're common to humanity. This is surely an act of exploration, and into a world as remote as the author chooses. Explorer and travel writer Peter Fleming talks of the moment when the explorer returns to the existence he has left behind with his loved ones. So I think we can relate to Peter Fleming. He referred to the relevance of the form of transport used. He describes feelings of coming back home after a long journey. I think that's Peter Fleming. Peter Fleming, because I think Peter Fleming is found. This is question number 34. Is an answer for question number 34. Because the word he has left behind his loved ones means coming back home. So like returns to the existence he has left behind with his loved ones is another word for saying coming back home after a long journey. There we go. So let me take that. And yeah, there we go. Finished. The traveler who has for weeks or months seen himself only as a puny and irrelevant alien crawling laboriously over a country in which he has no roots and no background suddenly encounters his other self, a relatively solid figure with a place in the minds of certain people. So, what is it referring to? The writer refers to the description of Egdon Heath to suggest that Hardy was writing about his own experience of exploration. Hardy was mistaken. I think these options are going to go out. So it's not an option for us. I think this is another option. Option C is going to be the answer for us. So let me actually highlight this part as well. I didn't highlight it. So people's emotional states. So the word people's emotional state means desires and fears of his characters. So I think that's pretty simple, right? The traveler who has for weeks or months seen himself as only punny, irrelevant, blah 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 blah, a solid figure with a place in the minds. I think I think that's pretty simple to identify. So yeah, and desires and fears of your characters. So that to suggest use the landscape. I think let me just highlight this part instead. I think this is gonna be a better part for me to suggest where the exact location of the answer is. So it's gonna be 29 here. Emotional states. Emotional states means desires and fears. All right, desires and fears. Desires and fears. Emotional states. Paraphrasing. In the fourth paragraph, the writer refers to the golden age to suggest that 1, 2, 3, 4, fourth. In this book about the exploration of the Earth's surface, I have confined myself to those whose travels were real and who also aimed at more than personal discovery. But that still left me with another problem. The word explorer has become associated with the past era. The word explorer has become associated with the past era means it is still the definition of the definition of the word explorer still somehow defines from the day it was found. So we think back to a golden age as if exploration peaked somehow in the 19th century. The keyword here is as if. So but as if the process of discovery is now on the decline. Though the truth is now we have named only 1.5 million of the planet's species, and there may be more than 10 million, and that's not including bacteria. What's it's trying to say that the word exploration has not yet ended, or anyway, explorers are still needed. So it is trying to say that so by far they haven't found anything at all. So they need to explore more and more to find many more. They have to explore a lot of stuff. So first, the word as if, this is the first as if is a negative, is a negativity, but here is saying although the truth is. So though the truth means, of course, but the actual truth. So it's referring to the golden age, to the amount of useful information produced by the exploration has decreased. No, obviously not. That couldn't be. It did not decrease. So yeah, has decreased. Fewer people are interested in exploring than in 1973, though it doesn't talk about that part. It's not talking how many people How many people are interested in exploring? Recent developments have made exploration less exciting. Nope, not that as well. We are wrong to think that exploration is no longer necessary. There we go. The answer is we are wrong to think we are wrong to think is as if no longer necessary. We are wrong to think that exploration is no longer necessary. As if exploration peaks somehow, as if the process of discovery is now on the decline. Though the truth. So, two negativity, one positivity. Two negative things are being covered by the word though the truth. In the sixth paragraph, when discussing the definition of exploration, the writer argues that blah blah blah. We have studied only 5% of the species. We have scarcely mapped the ocean floors, and now know even less about ourselves. We fully understand the workings of only 10% of our brains. All right. Now we have to find the sixth paragraph. See here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have to find the six. However, we're not going to jump straight to the sixth number because we have found these names. Here's how some of today's explorers. One thing we have to notice: we can use anything. We can use any letter more than once. Radifians dubbed the greatest living explorer said, an explorer is someone who has done something that no human has done before, and also done something scientifically useful. It's a very good way to say. So he referred to the relevance of the transport used. He worked for the benefit of specific groups of people. He did not consider learning about oneself on essential exploration. He defined exploration as being both unique and value to others. So that is Ranfien's, I think. No, that's not an A. Ranfien's comes as B. Unique and value to others. Unique and value to others means unique is another way to say no human has done before, and value to other means scientifically useful. Pretty simple paraphrase. Chris Bonington, a leading mountaineer, felt exploration was to be found in the act of physically touching the unknown. You have to have gone somewhere new. Then Robin Hanbury Tennyson, a campaigner on behalf of remote so-called tribal people, said, a traveler simply records information of some far-off world and reports back, but an explorer changes the world. That is very interesting. I don't know, what does Chris Bonington say here. Does Chris Bonington say here anything at all? I don't think so. But Robin Hanbury Tennyson is giving a very interesting one here as well. So he says that a traveler simply records information about some far-off world and reports back, but an explorer changes the world. Wilfred Thesiger, who crossed Arabia's empty quarter in 1946 and belongs to an era of unmechanized travel, now lost to the rest of us, told me, if I'd gone across by camel when I could have gone by car, it would have been a stunt. That is who said that? Wilfred Thesiger is a form of transport. I could have gone by car. Car is a form of transportation, so that's gonna be E. Wilfred Thesiger said that. A form of transport. I'm gonna highlight that. All right. However, 35. Who's necessarily talking about 35? 35. Interesting. Robin. He said a traveler simply records information about some far off world and reports back, but an explorer changes the world. But a campaigner on behalf of remote so-called tribal peoples is, I think. So a campaigner on behalf of remote so-called tribal people said, I travel simply records information about some far-off world and reports back, but an explorer changes the world. So I think that is number 35. Who said that? Robin Hanbury Tennyson. Robin Hanbury Tennyson is going to be D. So benefit of specific groups of people. Benefit for the specific group of people meant on behalf of is a benefit. On behalf of is a benefit. For the sake of something. Tribal people is a specific group of people. So yeah, he did not consider something else. Who is left? Wilfred Thesiger. We also think Wilfred Thesiger is another one. To him, exploration means bringing back information from remote places, regardless of any great self-discovery. Oh, okay. We found another answer as well. So I think that is another Wilfred Thesiger. So Wilfred Thesiger is going to be E. Once about oneself, an essential part of exploration is another word of saying any great discovery. So yeah, that's pretty simple as it was. In the sixth paragraph, in discussing definition of exploration, the writer argues that. So this is going to be the sixth paragraph, is it? So paragraph 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one is 6. Each definition is slightly different and tends to reflect the field of endeavor of each pioneer. It was the same whoever I asked. The prominent historian would say exploration was a thing of the past. The cutting edge scientist would say it was of the present. So each one has their own definition, and so on. They each set their own particular criteria. There you go. The common factor in their approach being that they all had, unlike many of us who simply enjoy travel or discover new things, both a very definite objective from the outset and also desire to record their findings. So people tend to relate exploration to their own professional interests. No, it's not talking about that. Certain people are likely to misunderstand the nature of exploration. No, there's nothing about that. The generally accepted definition has changed over time. Nope. Historians and scientists have more valid definitions more than others. I think that's going to be paragraph D, is it? That's probably have to be. That's probably has to be paragraph D. But um, historians and scientists have more valid definitions. No, I'm sorry for that. That's not going to be it. But somehow I think this is going to be the answer because I made a mistake here just because I did not pay attention to the word relate exploration to their relate exploration to their own interest, professional interest, professional interest. So there's going to be these two things. These two things is another way of saying prominent historians relate exploration to the past, but modern scientists relate exploration to the present. They all have their own objective, means they have their own aims. So there's going to be option A. Well, here. So I'm going to take option 31. So reflect the field of endeavor of each pioneer and set their own particular criteria, means relate exploration to to their own particular information. In the last paragraph, the writer explains that he is interested in what? So I found that aside from the deep sea and deep underground, its era of specialists. We have read this paragraph already until this part, where it's written 40. It's the area of specialists. However, this is to disregard the role the human mind has in conveying remote places, and this is what interests me: how a fresh interpretation, even of a well-traveled route, can give its readers new insights. So, question 32. Not really. You have to relate statements that are given by or linked to people in the passage. So you have to just find the name. What I mean, you shouldn't find the name. You have to find the main gist. Gist means the main idea of the paragraph. So the writer is explains that he is interested in how someone's personality is reflected in the choice of places to visit. Um, no. He says, however, this is to disregard the role the human mind has in conveying remote places. Means this is what interests me. How a fresh interpretation, even of a well-traveled route, can give its readers new insights. Means a well-traveled route is a place that may be familiar. So well-traveled route is another way of saying what is it? Maybe familiar. So it's gonna be option B. I'm gonna remove this part. Gonna give it a red here. Okay. May be familiar. That may be familiar is that. So there we go. So 32, we highlight this part, give it a 32. And moreover, we found here's 30, 31. What else? 30 and so on. I think it was pretty basically simple to find out. Chris Bonington. I think this paragraph is answering questions from 32 to 37, 30, 33 to 37. So yeah, it was basically not that hard to navigate. So there you go, guys. We officially finished the test number one. If you have any questions, make sure to comment down below. And of course, if you liked it, if you found it helpful, please do subscribe and like and push that, smash that wonderful like button. If you disliked it, you can do the opposite as you insist. So yeah, if you have any questions, make sure to comment down below without any hesitations. I will come up with a very prompt response to your request. Once again, thank you very much for watching, guys. Thank you for your support, and yeah, have a wonderful time ahead, and I'll see you on the next episode.